Alright, so this is Discord. This is how it looks on the PC desktop. And as I mentioned, I'll jump right in. Here are the servers that I'm connected to on the left. And if I click on any of them, I instantly jump between them. And they are text channels and voice channels. So within text channels is, as you would expect, the user, under text, images and such, links, which open browsers automatically, animated GIFs, and if I jump to a different channel, such as, let's see, giveaways. Oh, that's a stupid channel. Alright, game news, here we go. So this is just people discussing certain game news, links to such this and that, or MMORPG games, or Players Unknowns, Battlegrounds, and look at that, all their highlights. Now, on the right, on any server that I'm connected to, you'll see the list of players, or rather users, that are connected to this server. And underneath each one, you'll see if they're playing a game. And you can control that within Discord settings. So if you don't want people to know that you're playing World of Warcraft, you're very self-conscious about that, you can hide that. You see people playing Final Fantasy, EVE Online, Black Desert. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's in the event that you're a streamer and you want other people to know that you're streaming, it'll show streaming and the title, where you can click directly on the link here, live on Twitch, and it'll open up your browser and open up the tab directly to their stream. So pretty nifty. Okay, let's see now. Voice channels. Voice channels are essentially chat rooms, but voice enabled. So if I click on, let's say, the general chat room, or let's say Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, so anybody who is within this channel, the voice channel, will be able to hear me. If I use, let's say, I use push to talk. So if I press my mouse 3, my middle mouse button, my avatar lights up, and then anytime I'm speaking, like right now, they would be able to hear me. And if I join a different channel, let's see this one right here, Laughs Lounge, all of these people are probably having a discussion. I'm not going to interrupt them, so I'd be able to hear them. I'd be able to talk to them. In the event that I'm taking a phone call or something, or a meeting, I can mute my mic. I can disable the voice. If I don't want people to talk to me at this moment, I'm really busy or taking that phone call, so I took my headphones off. I just want them to know that I can't hear them. So just press those buttons and then just disconnect if I'm tired of having voice communication. And that's it. No calls, no asking for permission. You just jump in. Of course, you can set certain channels to be private or require certain roles. So for instance, I can't join the Black Desert Online voice channel because that one is typically used by the community here for their war efforts. And since I'm not playing the game anymore, I don't have permissions to enter that one because I could be a spy. We don't want that. Right. So let's see. What else? All right. So one of the concerns that you might have in hosting an entire community focused on chat channels is that you might miss important conversations. You might not be able to communicate with each other so easily. So they have a nifty little feature called mentions, where if you say something and you add their name in the front or the back or wherever in your conversation, they'll get a notification. This person will get a notification and say, like, so and so, in this case Dynamic Titan, has said X, Y, and Z, and they'll get it to their phone if they have the phone app, or the server will light up with a little one that they have one mention. In the event that they haven't been paying attention for a while, they could click these recent mentions. So, okay, here's one. So on all servers, or this server in particular. This player has mentioned me, so I can jump directly to that part of the conversation. It stores all the text, so I can see what is it that they were talking. Oh, okay, some Care Bear stuff going on, and some kind of discussion that mentioned my username. So I was privy to that. And I can jump to the bottom if I need to. I'm done with that. We have various search options. You can search within the chat in case you're let's say Battlegrounds, and it'll list every time somebody mentions Battlegrounds. I can jump directly to that part of the conversation, see what it is that people were discussing. Okay, well that's kind of neat. He's riding a bike, so it's kind of cool. Very very powerful. You can pin certain messages in case they're important for this particular channel. Usually what people do is they would just create new channels, new text channels, and they would prevent the regular users from being able to speak in them. So they'd have important information here, like a moderator might put some, or events or things like that, like on November 24th, we are meeting up in so-and-so, come down for a beer. Things like that. Just rules if it's a public Discord channel. Alright, so in the event that I don't want to hear, for instance, I don't want to hear welcome messages, I can just mute those channels. Announcements, I don't care for them. Not safe for work, I don't really care for that. So anytime somebody speaks in a channel and uses mentions and such that notify everybody in that channel, if I just mute the entire channel, I won't get any of them. So I don't need to know that. Let's see. And if just people are speaking, it'll just bold them like that there was some new text that I haven't read yet, but it's not going to notify me. I'm not going to get a notification on my phone for that. In the event that I stop using a certain community, I don't really care for them anymore. I don't want to listen to any of their mentions. I don't want to be notified, but I still want to be connected to it. Maybe someday I'll return, or maybe someday I'll just want to look in what they're doing. I can mute the entire channel. So there's always that option. Okay, so moving on to actual private messages and friends list. So friends are usually, you don't really need to maintain a list of friends. It's only for when they leave channels that servers that you've been on together. So you can't really talk to them on those servers anymore. So then you would add them to your friends list so that you could discuss things directly, like a direct message. It's just essentially a private message, one-to-one, or maybe see this one has 3 people. So you could talk privately. You could then do, just like you could in Skype, you could start a voice conversation. You could do the same for 3-4 people, but in this case they would have to pick up the call. It's not quite like the voice channels within the servers where I just click on them and voila, I'm inside, so I can talk and leave at any point. Okay, so moving on. User settings, pretty simple. Username, email, your avatar. And if you really care for 2-factor authentication, they can send you special codes to your mobile phone every time you log in, just to prevent people from stealing your account if you're really worried about that. Privacy settings, who can direct message you, who can add you as a friend, such and such. This is rather neat. If you have a lot of friends that you maintain on different social networks and such, Twitter, Reddit, Steam, Skype, Battle.net, Google, Twitch, you could add those accounts and sync friends. So you could, it'll present you all of the people that you know on Battle.net that also have Discord accounts, and it'll allow you to just click, send invitations in case you want to just get through it quickly. They do have a subscription if you're interested, but mostly it's just cosmetics. Like your avatar will be animated if you want it to be. You could upload gigantic images. So overall it's ad-free, and non-intrusive. I've never gotten a single ad, from Discord advertising anything. Unlike Facebook and Skype, every time I'm talking to anybody, half my screen is covered with ads. So there are voice settings. You could use voice activation. So beyond a certain threshold, you get set automatically. So beyond a certain threshold, so whenever I talk louder than this point, it'll automatically send my voice to everybody in the voice channel that I'm in. Otherwise, if it's just me typing away, it might be down here, so they won't be able to hear the typing. All right. And they have a lot of nifty features: voice cancellation, noise suppression, a bunch of customization options. They have overlays in the event that you're playing and you want to know who's speaking. You can use those in game, so it'll overlay right in your game. Their little avatar, the name, whenever they're talking in the voice channel. Notifications, if you want desktop notifications. Your cell phone, if you have the app, would have separate notifications. You could set up those settings differently. Keybinds, games. So in the event that I don't want people to know that I'm playing any game, you could just turn all of them off, or turn specific ones on or off. So I want to show that I'll play Payday, but I really don't want people to know that I play, let's say, Borderlands. So I can just hit the X button there, and they won't know that I'm playing Borderlands if I am. Image text settings, in case you don't want to see those images, just show them as links. So your appearance, I prefer a white text or gray text on a black background, but if you like the opposite, oh Jesus, that's bright. If you like black text on white background, if you're used to a more traditional appearance of your application, you could set it there. They have a little preview of how the chat channel looks, so you can have it display the avatar, put more spacing between, or compact view. Just put this timestamp name, the username, and the text. Font scaling, depending on how great your vision is. Oh Jesus. So if you commonly stream, you can enable streamer modes. So this will prevent things like sound effects, notifications that pop up on your screen, so that they don't interrupt your streaming and they don't confuse the players. It's really confusing whenever I'm watching somebody streaming and there's Skype notifications. Doo-doo. It's like, did I get a Skype message or did they? Things like that. All right. So yeah, this is the white background appearance. In case you're curious, I prefer the dark. So yeah, very powerful software. A lot of customization options. There are a lot of plugins that you could also use. I've never actually checked them out because I never needed them. You can add reactions. But if there are further details that you wish to glean, you could probably find more of these kind of videos on YouTube.